As a relatively rare type of watercraft, semi-submersibles have become more prevalent in our daily lives through news reports. For example, there have been cases where drug traffickers used homemade semi-submersibles to transport tons of narcotics across borders. Setting aside the criminal aspect, the occurrence of such situations indicates that semi-submersibles possess certain unique attributes in terms of technology, such as simple manufacturing processes and enhanced stealth during operation. The history of semi-submersibles dates back quite a while. The Monitor, an ironclad warship equipped by the Union Army during the American Civil War, is considered an early prototype of semi-submersibles. This vessel had an extremely low freeboard, with most of its main structure submerged underwater. Over 150 years have passed since the existence of this ironclad warship. In the 1930s, a German designer named Rudolf Engelmann planned to develop a new high-speed vessel. His initial goal was to create a ship with faster speed and better stability on water than a destroyer. If successfully developed, this type of vessel could have immense implications. Apart from naval applications, it could also be utilized by ocean liners to reduce travel time. Engelmann designed a scaled-down semi-submersible to test his high-speed vessel concept. Initially, the vessel had a spindle shape, resembling submarines of that time. The cross-section of the hull had a pear-like shape, with the main body completely submerged, and only the streamlined superstructure visible above the waterline. After conducting several experiments, Engelmann made modifications to certain aspects, such as adding a ridge behind the bridge to allow smoother water flow. Engelmann's experiments attracted the attention of the German Navy, as they believed that if this type of vessel were used in military operations, it would effectively reduce the surface area projection of the ship, thereby lowering the probability of detection. In 1938, the German Navy requested the construction of a semi-submersible prototype for high-speed torpedo boats, which became known as the VS-5. The VS-5 semi-submersible torpedo boat had a similar appearance to a small submarine. It featured a sealed hull and a streamlined bridge. Two 533mm torpedo launch tubes were installed at the bow, and the bridge also had two 20mm machine guns for anti-aircraft or surface fire purposes. Similar to submarines, this vessel had buoyancy control devices to adjust the depth of the hull in the water. It was said that the bridge could be completely submerged, although this claim may not be entirely accurate since submerging the bridge would require power to operate, and the boat lacked large batteries or equipment like propulsion motors and periscopes. If they were to install batteries and motors, why not simply build a submarine instead? The VS-5 semi-submersible torpedo boat had considerable dimensions, with a length of 48.84 meters, width of 2.82 meters, and displacement of nearly 300 tons. It required a crew of 17 people. The designer expected it to achieve a speed of 93 kilometers per hour on the water, approximately 50 knots. Combined with its stealth capabilities, it posed a significant threat to large vessels in coastal areas, straits, and other maritime regions. However, the fatal flaw of the VS-5 lay in its propulsion system. It was powered by four two-stroke L11Z 1930 diesel engines, which provided impeccable power output. Under 1050 revolutions per minute, each engine could produce 2,000 horsepower, resulting in a total of 8,000 horsepower. While the engines provided power, it did not mean that this power could be fully utilized. The four engines were installed in two rows, and their power was transmitted to a single propeller at the stern through a gearbox. The problem arose here. When the vessel attempted to move at high speeds, the engines would output power violently, causing the propeller to increase its rotational speed and generate significant torque. During full-speed operation, this torque could tilt the vessel by 14 degrees. To avoid tilting, the vessel had to reduce its speed to below 52 kilometers per hour, thus losing its advantage in high-speed navigation. The VS-5 was completely abandoned in 1942. The main reason behind this decision did not stem from technical limitations, as the issue of torque produced by the vessel could have been addressed, for example, by adopting twin-shaft propulsion. The primary reason for the German Navy's abandonment of semi-submersibles was the adjustment of their focus in naval warfare. They pinned their hopes on disrupting maritime traffic lines and pressuring enemy nations to surrender using large submarines. Consequently, they no longer allocated resources for the production of large surface vessels, shifting their focus to mini-submarines and conventional torpedo boats for coastal defense.